Hello, we are back finally. It's been a little while since we've done a little live stream, so welcome back. Today, what we're going to be doing is working on Star Mining Co. So, if you don't know what Star Mining Co is, it's a game that I'm making in Java um, where you mine asteroids. So, I can give you a little demo right now. Now, last time we were working on this, we were working on adding some modifiers in. So, part of mining asteroids is you've got a drill and you will acquire new parts for your drill over time and you build that drill up to be as powerful as you can get it. And so what we were working on last time is these little fellas down here. So these are modifiers. Each part of your circuit board, you can put something on it. So in this case here, this part here, the surface scraper, outputs 150% when drilling near the surface, but decreases to 60% when drilling near the core. So it can boost things when you're near the top, and it'll reduce things when you're deep inside the asteroid. And then we've got this powder strength here. So it affects how strong your drill is against powder type resources. So when we're drilling near the surface, this will be stronger. Now, what we were working on last time is these little modifiers here, which do different things. So this one here, for example, doubles the boost to a cell. So on the right here, we can mimic some certain scenarios of when you're mining so that you can see how powerful your drill will be. And in this case, we can set our position to be near the surface and you can see our powder strength goes up. And then if we drop this capacitor onto this cell, which we do want to do, then you can see we get stronger. So that's what we were doing last time. But what we'll be looking at today is something that I've been working on in secret without telling anyone. And that's events on asteroids. So if we go into the asteroid belt, at the moment I've got it set up so every single asteroid has an event on it. That's not going to be the case. They're going to slowly get more frequent as you progress through the asteroid belt. But this is just for testing purposes. So each asteroid, indicated by this little warning icon here, down the bottom you can see that there is a different event that can happen. And in this case, today I think what we're going to be working on is the dust storm. So that should be quite fun. So this one here has a dust storm on it. All I've done is set up the sort of the bare bones of this system so that, as you can see, we can see that an event will occur. And in this case, I've also, just for testing purposes, made it a 100% chance of happening. But again, that won't be the case. So if I click on this one and we actually go to this asteroid, you will see this is a work in progress. I could probably show you. I had a much nicer version of this. Let me just open it up. Where is it? Assets, textures, icons. So I had what I think is kind of like a cuter version of this. This is a bit big, but this one was way too small was the problem. And so I made a bigger one and I'm not sure about it. As it says, I'm unsure. Obviously, because I have hacked it at the moment to be 100% chance always, it is showing 100% chance, but then you click this button and then it'll actually tell you whether or not that event's going to happen. And in this case, we got a 100% chance of a dust storm happening. But at the moment, as you can see, nothing actually happens. There is no dust storm while I'm here. Now, what's going to happen in the dust storm is currently there's this fog here, which is obscuring everything that you're seeing. But as I mine and I move through the world, that fog disappears around me. And you can get components that will expand the radius that will make the fog shrink. But as you can see, once it's cleared, it stays cleared. But what's going to happen in a dust storm is that once you move out of an area, that dust is going to close back in. So you won't always be able to see everything that you've been doing. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on. We're going to work on getting this dust closing back in if there is a dust storm active, which in this case there is. Right, so I guess I should actually stop playing the game and actually work on putting in the dust storm. But yeah, so that's the sort of idea behind it. Is there's going to be here, if I skip all this for the moment, there's going to be a random chance of an event happening, and I've got a few ideas of different events that are going to happen. But yeah, today we're just going to work on the dust storm. So I can shut that. What I might do, just to make sure again that we can test, is I have, so this is where I'm choosing what event will occur. And at the moment it's choosing a random event, but because we're going to be working on the dust storm, I'm going to just fix it so that it's always a dust storm. So world event dot dust storm. So yeah, you can see normally there's a chance, there's only a random chance of this happening, and then there's also on the asteroid that when it's decided that there is a chance of an event happening, there's also a chance. Hang on, I've completely butchered that explanation. But basically, not every asteroid will have an event, and even when it has an event, it's not guaranteed to happen. There we go. We got there in the end. So, yes, dust storm. So what this means, I think what I probably need is some global, well, not global, but some centralized place where I can figure out what event is active. And so I think that will be in this game manager object here, because it sort of has access to all the information, all the different bits. So we'll quickly put in a getter in here. I just need to figure out where I want to put it. This is a bit of a beast of a file. Actually, I think I have like a... Yeah, yes, for different things that are active. So what I want to do is maybe even like a... Is event occurring? And you pass in a world event. I've done this silly thing where in a few cases I have a package. So this is like the world package that also has a class of the same name, and I feel like IntelliJ gets confused sometimes about what's going on. But oh well, that's all right. You can get around it. But then I've also got the auto imports turned on, and so if you try and mess with the imports, it doesn't like you doing it. So it can be a bit finicky sometimes, but I think it's worked out all right here. So basically what we want to do is we want to get the event that's currently happening on the world, if there is an event occurring. I can't spell occurring. And then check essentially that it's the event that's been passed in. So we can say world event current event equals, so we can get the, I've got a world controller, get current world, and then get params.get event. There we go. That's a very Java thing, isn't it? Just chaining things like that. Anyway, so that could technically be null, but I think that's okay because we just want to return if the event equals the current event. And that will tell us if an event is occurring. So what I can do then is, I think fog, I've got a specific particle for fogs. So I should be able to, here, yeah. So what happens with my particles is that I have a function that will tell me when it's dead, and that will, oh, I already passed in the world. So maybe I didn't need to do that bit with the game manager. Oh well. It's probably neater to have it all in one spot. So what I can do is... yeah, so I'm always minning the size, but that's okay. First, we need to make the fog not die when it gets too small. So the size is less than 1, and we're on an asteroid, and we want it to be that game manager dot is event expired milk. Hey, how you going? Hope you're doing well. I don't know if I completely mistrust the chat now, because so many times the chats don't come through for like 5 minutes or something. So I don't know if you're still around, but how you going? Hope you're doing well. So we want to check if the world event dot dust storm. It's done that thing again. And this is where we got to do weird imports. See, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. Let me try doing it down here. So what you do, you got to like trick it so that you pretend you're not doing an import, and then at the last second you hit it with the import. Oh, didn't like that. Oh, that's because it's not a thing. World event, and then we hit it with the import. Yeah, there we go. Silly. Anyway, so yes, we want to die only if we're not in a dust storm. And then again, here, we only want to do this where we minimize it. Size target. What's the normal? It's been a while since I've worked on the fog. Oh, you just arrived. Cool. Yeah, I'm so distrustful of it now. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I don't know if you caught the intro. Basically, we're working on some world events. Um, Here I can show you what's going on. Although I've got it set up for testing at the moment, but essentially in the asteroid belt at the moment for testing, every single asteroid has the same event and at a 100% chance of happening. But there's a chance that an asteroid will have an event spawning on it, and then when you go to that, if an asteroid has an event, there's a chance again that it will happen. At this point, I've put it in as 100% just so that I can always test it. But when we go to a world now, you'll find out if the event is actually going to be occurring. So, and again, this 100% won't be always 100%. And you check, and then, oh my god, there's a dust storm happening. So what we're going to be doing is that this fog will be returning. During a dust storm, the fog that you clear will actually slowly come back in. So you won't always be able to see everywhere that you've gone. So yeah, that's what we're working on. So, yeah, basically, I need to remember. It's been a long time since I've worked on the fog, so I need to remember what all these bits and bobs are. Size target. Ah, yes, I remember. So new size, and it'll lerp towards that. So I only wanted... Oh, I do want it to be the min of these two things. Yes. It's just that it shouldn't die. I think maybe... Could it be that we've already done it? I don't know. I should have tested it, actually. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to have to actually play the game to do this. Kind of want one that's got, yeah, dust on the outside. And I can cheat using these modifiers that we put in last time. And really boost myself up. Cool. And then we can go to the asteroid. And we know that we're going to hit a dust storm. Good. And so then I should see that dust closes back in. No. No, we do not see that. So I would have thought here, maybe we need to... I was going to... If I print things out, every single dust particle will be printing stuff out, and there's a lot of dust particles. So I don't know if I want to do that. But... and if I debug, I'll have the same thing where every single particle is being run. But I kind of want to be able to tell on a specific... Maybe I should just print it out and just copy. So some of the fog is just not shrinking, which is interesting. Is there a pattern to it? I don't know. I don't think so. That one... Oh, I wonder if there's like a... It's going negative, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. It's got like a negative radius. So I need the size to be not going below 0, I think. So new size is... Oh, so then I just need to do size target equals game.max size target and 0. Because we don't want it to go below 0. Because I think that's what's happening is the fog particle is shrinking so much that it inverses on itself and comes back out the other side. Okay. I won't bother boosting myself up. I think I can test this without having an overpowered drill. Okay. So hopefully we should see... Okay, yes. Yeah, so they're not hanging around anymore like they used to be. I think because we stopped it from inverting on itself, but they're not closing back in. So it should be that the bits above me should have been closing back in, I think. Yeah, and actually we can use a fog bomb, which we did in a previous stream. So yeah, I would have expected that to then close back in because we're far enough away that it should close back in. Yeah. Okay, so what is going on? Fog size, okay. Where is this being used? Okay, so when we create a fog particle, the size is at most fog size, I think. Okay. Maybe? This is a confusing code. Anyway, so that we get this size, so then it should come back in, because this new size... Oh, no, because we're always... This is ensuring that it's always shrinking. So we need to do size normal, I think. We want the min. So, okay, yeah. So this size target is sort of like caching the previous smallest size. But in the case of a dust storm, we don't want it to always be the smallest possible size. We want it to then go back up. Yes. So I think what we want to do is just, if the dust storm is happening, so if we're in a dust storm, I think we want to just always be setting the target to the normal original size, which I think we cache. Yes. Okay, so I think hopefully this will work. I hadn't really thought about how I was going to do this, but I think this has actually ended up being a lot faster than I was anticipating. So maybe we can work on fixing this thing up, because it's kind of ugly. All right, so we should see... Yeah, it's filling back up. Sweet. Oh, this is like claustrophobic. What happens if I put in a bomb? Ooh, okay, that might... We might need to fix that up, because this is like a bit too overbearing, I think. Yeah, that does like nothing. So how do I do the fog bombs? I think that's... I think that'll be on the world. Oh my god. Cannot type. Alright, so in the world... I think I got like a clear fog? Clear fog? No. Where is it? Clear fog at position. World controller. There we go. Update position. Scale. So where's scale used? This. Okay, so something will need to change, I think. Maybe the way I'm doing this is not... Because I think what's happening is that... I'm going to draw a little diagram. I don't know why green, but we're going with it. Okay, so I think what's happening is we are lerping between... So we got a scale here. So this is 0, and then this is like the maximum size. So fog size. Fog S for the moment. And so I think what's happening is that essentially the fog is at its maximum size, and then the bomb happens, and it should be setting some of these to 0, but then the next frame... So it's lerping towards 0, and that happens over time. So the target is 0, but we've only lerped... How far are we lerping? 10% of the way. So we're like here. And then the next frame, the target goes from 0 back to the fog size because of this. And so then it basically just jumps straight back again. So I think we're going to have to figure out some way of slowing down the transition back to the fog size. So I think just setting this is probably wrong. What we probably want to do instead is we want to lerp back. We're going to lerp the lerp target. We're getting layers deep in lerping. So I think what we want to do, yeah, is go game.lerp size target towards the size normal. And we're going to go probably the same amount as we're doing down here. So 0.1%. Not 0.1%, 0.1, which is 10%. So we're going to hopefully slow down the return back to the other lerp target. I don't know if that makes sense. We'll see. We'll just try it. Just try it. I want to go somewhere with dust, yes. And I actually do want to use this because it was a bit painfully slow, the mining. This is the problem with testing your games, is that you lose sight of how the early game is because you just want to be using like powerful stuff to test all the time. And so then the okay, here we go. Let's try. So we're still getting the dust closing in nicely. So, but now if we try a bomb, it's a bit better. I might slow down the return of the. Yeah, I'm gonna slow this down even more and see how that goes. I think. I don't know what I think. I think we'll test it and see. I think that is the way to go. Okay. We use the Embiggener. Great name. At least I make myself laugh. Let's do that and that. To get it nice and big. Good. Yes. All right. Check this. 100%. Okay. Now, let's go over somewhere with some gold. Try that. How does that go? It's a bit better. I mean, I guess the whole point of this is that the fog is oppressive. So maybe it kind of works. I also will need to check that it still works when we're not in a dust storm. I think it might be a little bit fast still. Yeah, I think it's a little bit fast. Let me try just 0.01. 1%. We'll see how that goes. Oh, I think it's about to start raining and I've got a lot of windows open. We'll see how we go. If I have to run off at some point, you'll know why. It's because I'm closing all the windows. All right. I will do this again just because. Not that one. Yes. And yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this needs to go. It was sort of a mock-up, but I was also sort of hoping secretly that it would work. But I don't think it does. Oh, this is something that I knew something felt wrong, but I hadn't quite figured out what. So usually in the dropship, while you're looking for somewhere to go, all the fog is shrunk back towards the middle, and then not until you go to the actual asteroid and you click the drop button does it fill back in. But because of what I've done here, it fills it back in on the dropship. But I think that's probably not a bad thing either, because in a dust storm, you would expect less visibility from high up as well. So, I mean, the logic in the game doesn't really make a lot of sense, a lot of the things, but I will see. I might change that in the future. We'll see. All right. So things should fill in more slowly now, which I think is good. But how do we go with this? Yeah, I think that's better. I think that's better. I don't know. If anyone has strong feelings about it, let them be known. But I think that kind of works. Because it at least gives you like a brief glimpse and then it closes back in. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. Cool. Well, there we go. Let me just try and get over to this. See, I think the thing is, the fog, you can sort of see through the fog. If you're really paying attention, you can sort of see through the fog. Oh, I don't have enough for another fog bomb. Like, you can catch glimpses through the fog. Expired milk, yeah, that's better. Yeah, I think so too. I think having that extra little bit of visibility is good. Cool. Well, Dust Storm done. Stream over. No, only kidding. I think Dust Storm is done. That's good. I'm happy with that. That was a lot easier than I was anticipating. Although some fun lerp stuff. Oh, I did not do very well. Um, yeah, some fun lerping stuff. That's good. I will think about. I don't know what you guys think about the dropship screen. So here, let me put back on the, where are we? In the world params. Yes, here. So at the moment, there's a guaranteed dust storm on everything. What I might do is put it back to being a random chance, but I'll make it like 50-50 so we can check things out. And so I'll show you what the dropship screen is like when it's not a dust storm, and then I'll show you what it's like with a dust storm, and we can see what we think is actually better. Of course, every single one of them has... That's all right. I guess I can just go to an asteroid and then try and beat it, and then go to the next asteroid. Yeah, I'll have to actually play the game. All right, let's go. I mean, I've got basically hacks with the modifiers because these will not be available until way later in the game. Okay, so just a reminder, this is what it looks like when the dust storm is active on the dropship. So ready? Oh wait, not yet. Ready? So here, the dust all fills back in. I think that's kind of good, to be honest. But that's what it does. All right, and so now I need to actually try and beat this. I didn't actually look at where any of the resources were, but I can kind of see that there's some metal down here. No, not metal, gems. Oh, actually, this is something that I should mention as well, is that I need a better way of communicating this to the user, but in the asteroid belt screen where you're choosing your asteroid, I need to make it obvious that the chance of the event occurring is how much of a bonus you get on the prices. So I've done really well here because there was a 100% chance of this event happening, which means that the prices of everything is basically doubled. I'll show you that actually in the asteroid screen. So I can leave now. And we've got heaps of cash. So that's good. So here, what you can see is... Can you see it? Yes. So, for example, the mineral, I'm getting two... I don't know. So, bit of backstory. The unit of currency here, I've been calling it like an inequality as a tongue-in-cheek thing because it's like an internal to the Star Mining Co. Because you're working for an evil corporation, they've got like an internal monetary system, which is inequalities, just because I think that's funny. And also true, but also funny. So yeah, side note, I don't know exactly how to say it, but like two inequalities, I guess. $2, I don't know. But yeah, so the semi-precious, the mineral, you can see on this asteroid was worth 2 per unit, whereas on this one, it's only worth $1.06. And that's because this one had a 100% risk of a dust storm happening, so it effectively doubled the mineral price. The prices go up as you get deeper in anyway, because the asteroids get a little bit harder. So that's why, like, even though these two, neither of them have an event on them, but the money's still going up. But if you do have an event on them, you can see this one is $2.22, whereas this one is only $1.11. So that's how that works, and that's why I was so easily able to beat that asteroid. But that's a complete side note. I need some way of communicating that to the user, though, because, I mean, looking at the prices is kind of not very fun. So I think there probably needs to be like some big bonus thing, maybe next to where it says asteroid, be like bonus money or something like that, danger money, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, now let's look at what the dropship looks like when we are not in a dust storm. Well, you can see it right there. So the dust, the fog stays right away from the edges of the asteroid, and you can actually see stuff and see where you're wanting to land. I think it's kind of good that the dust storm fills everything in, even in the dropship screen, because it makes it actually more of a hindrance. And I think that's what I want. I want it to be a risk-reward thing. So you have the risk of obviously not being able to choose a perfect spot to go and of being hindered by the dust, but the reward is that you get the extra cash. And of course, it's not guaranteed that a dust storm will be occurring, even if there's a chance of it occurring. So yeah, you get to sort of take that gamble. But so this is what it looks like without the dust storm. So yeah, I'd be interested to know what you guys think. And I'm just going to quickly check while we're here that if it's not a dust storm, everything still works fine, and it looks like it is. I wonder if I need to make it so that the player is slightly lower down on the camera, because he's very high up. Although I guess you're drilling down, so you kind of want to be able to see beneath you, and you don't necessarily want to see up. So maybe it's not a problem. I don't know. So many things to think about when you're making games. There's so much. Oh gosh, I've done really poorly here. I think I didn't choose a very good spot. Thankfully, I got enough in the bank to survive, though. So if you're lucky, there's no dust storm and you still get the reward. Yeah, exactly. See, here, I'll what I can do is I will remove this from being a guaranteed chance, but I will still make it so that every okay, what I'm doing is every single asteroid will have a dust storm on it, but it won't be a guaranteed dust storm. And so you'll see what it will normally be like. And in fact, it's going to be very unlikely in the first few asteroids. So yeah, I think I've got a minimum of, if an event is occurring, then the minimum is 10% chance. But it goes up pretty slowly from there. And then once you've finished this boss, you go to another asteroid belt, and then it'll like increase from there. But anyway, so now there's a 10% chance. But the reward is only an extra 10%. So normally this mineral would be $1. But because there's a 10% chance, the price has gone up 10%. So it's now $1.10 if I go here. And I mean, I got a 1 in 10 chance of the dust storm occurring. So I check and we're safe. So the dust storm isn't occurring, but I still get that 10% bonus on the price. So I should see... Oh, I didn't actually I don't want to mine that either. I need to find some mineral because I know the price of that is $1. So here we go. So so the price per unit is $1.10. So I get the reward even though we're not in the dust storm. Although that is filling in. Why is that? Oh, I know what I've done. Yeah, okay. So so what I've got is I need to check that the event will occur. So this is why I actually did want to do this. Okay, so so what I might do is I need the world params first, and that's this. And then the current event is that. So then if the event isn't going to occur, then there's no point checking this because the event's not occurring. So yeah, that's my... I screwed that up. So the dust storm is kind of still occurring in the way that we were checking it because the event on this world was always a dust storm, but it didn't actually end up happening. But I wasn't checking that chance wasn't done. So the thing, in the world params, so when I'm choosing what event is happening, it also figures out if that event will occur. So it's not actually when you click that check button that it actually checks. It's already figured that out, but I was forgetting to check it. So I will try this again and make sure that it actually works properly now. Okay, so let's see. So we should see that the dust storm, well, we'll have to see if the dust storm occurs or not. So we're safe, which means that when we go down here, it should be like normal and the fog shouldn't fill back in because there is no dust storm occurring. So even though this asteroid had the chance, basically what was happening is this asteroid had a chance of spawning the dust storm. And so I was only looking at the chance of which event it would spawn, not the fact that it was actually spawning that event. But yeah, There we go. I think that's working now. So that's good. And the fog bomb, how does that go? Still works. Brilliant. Cool. So I think that's the fog dust storm completed. So that's fun. Very good. Right. I guess what I might do now is, like I'm saying, this screen here. Wait for it. Wait for it. This screen here. Kind of garbage. And it's the... It's a bit sad because that's the thumbnail for the for the stream as well. But that's all right. So we might fix this up a bit because it's a bit crap. But I can't quite put my finger on what's crap about it because, like I was showing you before, I really like this little one. I think this little one's really cool. Maybe I should literally just scale it up, double its size or something. But this seems a bit, I don't know, this seems a bit crap. If anyone can put their finger on why, please let me know. But yeah, so maybe I should just make this big, because this thing here at 100% scale is kind of small. And then even when it's blown up to this size, this would be like, I don't know, not that big. I think it was probably like that big on this screen, which is kind of small. But I was also thinking, rather than doing this, I was thinking of doing it procedurally, so it would be more like a, I don't know, I was thinking of having like, yeah, this will be entertaining watching me try and make some art. And let me just fill in the background, which I think is like that sort of color, is it? Yeah. Having a bar, and then maybe, so there's an oxygen bar that I've got. Maybe using I could even maybe pinch that. Yeah, let me just whack this in for the moment. Oh my god. Okay. It's almost a perfect fit. So yeah, maybe like stealing this. Probably need a different background color if that's the case. And then just having a like a slidey thing, like a line. Maybe with some triangles on either end. You know, like that sort of thing. I don't really know what I'm doing. I think you get the idea though. Oh, did not mean to do that. Anyway, and then, oh no, I've done this on the wrong layer. Basically having something like this, and then this can like move up and down depending on what because while you're sitting at this screen, it just has this little idle animation so that you're like, ooh, which way will it go? So the bar could just like hover in this sort of section, and then when you click check, just procedurally animate it with an easing function to hit the ends and go whichever way. Because I'm not going to lie, making changes to this artwork is really annoying for me. I think partly because of the program I'm using. I should probably be using like Aseprite or whatever, because they actually do, they have animation stuff, which makes it a bit easier, I think. I've never actually used it, so I don't know if it's easier or not, but I imagine it would be. Whereas for me, I just have to like manually like make a change, copy it into the next one. And then the thing is, I've got 3 different sets of animation for this, because there's one for when it's going to danger, one for when it's going to safe, and then one for when it's hovering in the middle. It's probably a smarter way of doing that, but that's all right. So yeah, doing it procedurally would be a lot easier to make changes for me, because making the changes in the code is so much simpler than making the changes in the actual image. But yeah, so I'm thinking maybe doing something like this, where it has a bar going up and down. Maybe not these colors though. I think this sort of gradient is better. And in fact, I have got this. Now this is kind of small as well. You can see how small that is. And scaling it up maybe doesn't work the best. Maybe I need to make a bigger version. And in fact, it would need to be flipped around the other way. Unless I make safe on the right, but that feels wrong to me. Adam, how you going? Health and oxygen. So yeah, this one is the oxygen. I was just gonna reuse it for this thing here that's showing like the danger level. Because I was kind of channeling here. I'll show you what I was channeling. I was kind of channeling this, which is like in Australia, there's always these bushfire signs. If you're like driving along the highway or something, they have these signs telling you how dangerous it would be to have a fire, like a bushfire, a campfire, or lighting any fire at any point. And yeah, so I was kind of channeling this in this chart here. I don't love, but it is amusing that the second lowest category is high, and it just gets worse from there. But yeah, so I was kind of channeling this for this thing here, but I don't know. It's just a bit bland, isn't it? Just a bit bland. Whereas the original one I did, I feel like had more character somehow, but I'm not sure why. Maybe just because it's smaller. I don't know. Although I think the shape of this thing is better, because this thing is more just like a stretched out line, whereas this is like, I don't know. The inner radius here is smaller, which is kind of nice. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's not that hard to fix. I'm just going to mess around and see how we go. Okay, so in here, I think, is where they are. Yes. So I'm going to mess around with this one first, because this is... What did I say it was? It was because this inner curve was nicer, wasn't it? So maybe it needs to be more like... I'm going to do it in a bright red so that I can see what's going on. I'm going to make that just 1 pixel for ease. So maybe it needs to be more like, where are the handles there? Actually, maybe this is the problem, is that I'm using a line when I could be using a circle or an ellipse. I guess this is an ellipse already, but maybe this is what I need to be doing to try and figure this out. Maybe what I should be doing is not doing this on stream, because I think me doing art, no one wants to see that. I'm not very good at it, and it's more a trial and error process than any sort of talent or skill. But yeah, maybe it needs to be more flatter along the bottom. That's something... Okay, I'm going to do that in my own time. Let's maybe move on to a different event. So, here, I've got Dust Storm is done. We've finished that. Boom, completed. That was quick. So I've got a few other ones that I want to do. So electromagnetic interference. So what I'm thinking here, this is another thing that's poorly communicated to the player, that I will need to do at some point, is your circuit board caps out at a certain value. I should probably... It would be very easy probably to show it here somewhere. Maybe up here, have like a... Or even in the Statomatic 9000, that would make sense that it would show you here. But basically, there's a maximum value that these buffs can get to, and you can upgrade that, but it starts out as 2, so the maximum you can have is a 2 times buff. And then you can upgrade that, so it would be a 3 times buff or a 4 times buff, so on. But what the electromagnetic interference will do is reducing the maximum power that's available to your circuits. And I'm wondering about having it, rather than like capping it at a fixed value for the like rather than like say halving it every time that there's electromagnetic interference, having it vary. And in fact, I have got. Here, let me see if I can luck my way into it. Boom, straight away. So this thing here. Let me just go to an asteroid with it. This thing here varies in between 80 and 200%. So I could do a similar thing for electromagnetic interference where it is capping. I forgot that I got this on. So you can see here, it goes up and down like this, just randomly. And so I could make the cap go up and down randomly if electromagnetic interference is on. So it scales it randomly between half and 100% of the maximum power. So yeah, maybe that's what we do. So let me change over this from being a guaranteed dust storm into a guaranteed interference. And then we'll put this back to being a 100% chance of it happening. Okay, so what we need to do is, so the game manager, I think, is where we store the maximum power level. Let's see. Max mult, that's what it is. So I've got a function that gets the max mult. So I can just do that. Oh, this will be quite straightforward, actually, because then I can just, in here, say, for the moment, I will just make it a fixed value, and we can just test that it's actually working. So I can say, int, I don't know. No, I'll go float buff. I don't know. Coming up with names is so challenging. I don't know why I really struggle with coming up with variable names. So it will just be 1 for the moment. And then if is event occurring and we want interference, if there's interference going on, then the buff will be 0.5. And then when we're returning the max mult, we can just multiply that by the buff. Right? I think that's right. I hope all the events are this easy. That would be good. So what this means is if we are on an asteroid with interference, then our maximum capacity for our circuit board, yeah, should be halved. Cool. All right, let's get in there and try it out. So we kind of want something that can go high, 150. See, actually no, I'll be able to do. Oh, we got a crash. What happened? Current world is not. Oh. Okay. This needs to do some extra checking. So I need to say, I guess I need to get the world. So world current world equals that. And then if current world equals null, then we want to return false, because if we're not on a world, then a world event cannot be happening. And then we can, if it isn't null, then we can get the parameters and check for the event. Cool. Good. All right, let's try this out. Right, play. And again, we want something that can go 150 is good. That is good. Interference, yes, good. Okay, and then... So this will, when we're on the surface, give us 150. But if we double that, should get us up to 2. And then we can just quadruply make sure of it by using a repeater as well. So this gets run twice. So it should be... Yeah. Okay, cool. So we should be, when we're on the top of the asteroid, it should be getting nerfed by the interference. We should see we're capped at 1.5 instead of instead of at 2. Still just popping in to say hi. Stream's going. Yeah, stream's going. Stream is going. Stream's going well. It's going well. We are just working on some events. We got the Dust Storm done. That was nice and easy. And now we're working on Interference, which is capping the maximum power to your... Ooh, there's something weird going on there. I think there's a visual glitch going on. So the output is being kept at 1, which seems wrong. I would have thought it would be... Oh, no, it is being kept at 1 because the max mult is 2 and I've halved it. So everything's just always... The maximum power is now 1. Oh, you know what? I might need to have 2 different malt getters. One that's like, so the max malt should probably always just return the max malt. Get max malt. I could probably have just copied and pasted that. So that returns the max mult, and then we want get the actual, just getting the actual multiplier, which is where this is being done. Because, sorry, the reason I'm thinking this is there's a little like pulse effect that happens when you're hitting the max mult, which indicates that you're at maximum power. But I think in the event of... I didn't put anything in my... Hang on, I didn't put anything in my circuit board. In the event of interference, the whole point is that you're not hitting your max mult, so it probably shouldn't tell you that you are when you're not, you know? Oh. Let me try that. Let me try that again. For demonstration purposes. So do that and just quadruply make sure. Good. Choose an asteroid. Okay. And then when we go, so yeah, this like pulsing effect here shouldn't happen because, well, in this case it should, because I'm not actually nerfing it yet. And we are at our max mult, which is 2. But in the event of interference happening, the whole point is that we're not at the max mult yet. So, okay. Now we need to actually put this function to use. So where we're using max mult, some of these will need to get changed to being mult. So capped boost, that's okay, because this is making sure that our value stays within the bounds of the max mult, and we do actually want to use the max mult for that. Although, during interference, we do want to cap it to the new lower mult. Oh, this is going to be tricky. So maybe actually that one is... I think it's more the displaying stuff that we want to use the max mult. Does that make sense? Power level percentage. So this one, we want to use the maximum mult. Whereas I think this one we actually just want to use the real mult, because that makes way more sense. Because this is where the actual value is being set, and that needs to respect the effective mult. But then the displaying stuff is where we want to use the maximum mult, so that we know that we're not actually, like, we're getting nerfed at some point. Okay, so yeah, I think this is, I think it was that one spot that needed to get changed, and that should halve our max mult. Although we don't want to halve it. I think here I'm going to do 0.75, so it should be 1.5 is our maximum mult. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's give it a whirl. All right. Go with the trusty surface scraper. Okay. I'm going to boost it. Just so you know, early game, you're not going to have these boosts available to you. These are like going to be some rarer items that you can pick up in treasure chests, which I haven't gotten around to yet, but I will. It's on the list. Yeah, I'll show you. After I've done the events, treasure rooms. Boom. And that's where you'll be able to get these things, which are going to be very helpful for you. Okay, so that should get us to hitting our ceiling of 2, but because there's interference at a 100% chance, we should see that we're getting capped, yes, at 1.5. Sweet. Awesome. And then as I go down, because I've also boosted these, as I get towards the center, which I'm not sure I'll be able to do actually because my drill's not very strong, but we should see that it rapidly goes down to... Actually, I think it'll get capped at 0.75 on the smaller end as well. Although I don't know how deep I'm going to be able to get, given the speed of my drill setup currently. I should have looked for a tunnel or something to test this. Yeah, I'm not going to make it. I would have expected that to go down a bit more by now, but I guess I have boosted it quite a lot. I don't know. I might need to get myself some OP stuff to be able to test that out. Let me try it again with something else. Let's try the size. Size is a bit OP. We go somewhere, yeah, with... Is there anywhere with just dust? No. This one's the best one, though. Probably. Don't know. Boost that. Boost that. So we're up quite high. So this will still get nerfed by the interference. That's a 100% chance. Good. Oh, yeah. And we might... That's actually not a bad place to go because it's quite deep and I can try and beeline a bit for that tunnel. I'm going to do that. Yeah, there we go. Now this is pod racing. Sorry, don't know what came over me. All right. Oh, but this doesn't go down. So stupid. So stupid. It was a good spot to go though. Because I might be able to get down pretty far. Oh, do not want to get the slag. Okay, yeah, we've made our money. Try and get some of this juicy. No, I don't think my drill's strong enough. All right, we got to get out of here. Oh no. Too high risk. Anyway, so I think that's kind of working. But what I want to probably do is rather than have this like a fixed thing, is I want it to vary in between. Because, I mean, trying to make it realistic, electromagnetic interference surely isn't just like a set value. It's going to be fluctuating over time. So this buff should probably reflect that. So what I will do is maybe I'll need to cache this, I guess. Yeah, so I'm going to have a private float mult mod. I don't know. Is that a good name? I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. And it's just going to be 1. And then when we are... Where were we? Down here. When we're getting the mult, if the event is occurring, then we want to do something. And then otherwise, we want to set that mult mod to 1. And that's what we're using here. But we can't set it outside of this if statement because we want to keep it in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to say... oh, we need a third value as well because we need like a target. Yeah. Private float mult mod target. And we'll set that to 1 as well. So then what we can say is if mult mod Jesus. If the absolute value of the mult mod minus the mult mod target is less than some small I don't know how small to make it. We'll make it that for the moment. If it's less than some small thing, then we want to set a new target. So mult mod target equals game dot random. Use the random thing to get a new random value between, I'm going to say 0.75 and 1. And that should be an F there. And that gets us a new target. And then what we can do is use the game.lerp to lerp the mult mod towards the mult mod target by some amount, which I'm going to, for the moment, put as 0.1. Are we all following along? Basically, this should... It'll set a target and it'll lerp its way there, and then when it gets there, it'll set a new target, and so it'll randomly but smoothly fluctuate between 0.75 and 1, but randomly. Right. Maybe... I don't like that it could be normal, because I feel like that's not enough of a punishment. So maybe it should be between... I don't know. What's like 0.6 and 0.8? I don't know. I guess these are all little values that I can tweak later. For the moment, let's just check that it actually works. I might need some way of showing that it's working, you know? Because we won't really... I guess we can just max something out. Oh, I did that. Oh, that gives me a higher... Oh, that's smart. Oh, that's... Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. So we're getting pretty close to it being 2 times B. So we should always be able to see what the max mult is, because... Why is that not changing? Oh! I know why that's not changing. It's because it only... it only will update every time we call it. Although it should be getting called every frame. I would have thought. Or maybe, you know what it might be? Huh. Oh, I know why. It's because I'm not actually bloody setting it. That'll be it then. That will be it. Oh dear, oh dear. That is shocking. All right, let's try that again. Got a nice purple planet. Oh, what is going on there? For some reason, that sometimes happens, and I can't figure out why that sometimes happens. Put the capacitor there. We actually get a bigger boost in the long run. Cool. All right, let's go and check out if this works. All right. There we go. Might be a bit fast. I need to slow it down a bit. Let's just do that, and we'll see how that goes, because this is crazy. Yeah, it does look a bit funny. All right, so that should be like 10 times slower. So hopefully that'll smooth it out a bit, and we can see how we're going. All right, let's see. Oh, there's no size one. The size one's nice and visual feedback, so I'm going to re-roll. There we go. Try it out. Yes, and yes. By the way, this is a little secret for you guys watching the stream, but this can't be undone unless in the future there's going to be an item, which I've already plumbed in, like I've done the logic for it. There's just no item that you can actually get, but it unlocks the ability to move these around. But early game, you can't, like you put them on a cell and that's final. So you can't move this now. And I can't can't replace it. But there is an item in the treasure rooms that I was talking about earlier, you might just be able to find something that will help you. Alf, how are you going, mate? Good to see you. Nice ears. My ears will never be revealed on stream. Although I think they actually already have, probably. Here, I'll give you a little whoop. There you go. That's all you get. Rightio. What were we trying? We were trying smoother lerping, I think, weren't we? Yes. Boom. 100% chance of interference. All right. So, yeah, nice and slow. That's it. Ear reveal. Yeah. I should have kept that for like 100,000 subscribers or something. Well, I feel like I've already got videos with my ears in them. Rightio. So yeah, that is better. What I'm trying to figure out is is it worth even having it lerp, or should it just be a fixed nerf? Because I don't know if, like, is it worth it moving? I don't know if it is. I can reveal my pinky toe. Now that is coveted. That has not been revealed yet. That is true. I've got that up my. I've got both pinky toes. I can do a left reveal and then a right reveal. But yeah. So the question is this nerfing of your drill's power? Is it worth having it fluctuate? Like, what gameplay? What does that add to the gameplay? I don't think it really adds anything, really. So maybe it should just be a fixed value, which is simpler and less computational, and it's less kind of weird that things are fluctuating. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it for the moment, and you guys can let me know what you think. Should it fluctuate, or should it just be static? Because I'm not sure what fluctuating adds other than it's kind of cool seeing things move. It's like a monkey brain thing where it's like, ooh, number change. So yeah, I don't know. But I think it'll be easy to change either way. A membership benefit should be a picture of my pinky toe. Yeah, I'll send you a printed out picture of my pinky toe. That's a brilliant idea. Actually, on that topic, thank you for reminding me, Expired Milk. We've got Legend. Where is it? I can never point in the right direction. Legend member, Tom Kirby Green. He is a legend. Thank you so much for being the top tier legend. And thank you to all the members on the channel. So if you want to become a member, there's a link somewhere beneath here, the join button. And I think there's a link in the description as well. So if you want to see what the memberships are, you can just click the join button and it'll tell you what the different tiers are. And yeah, thanks to all the members. Personalized pinky toe pics. Draw a little face on each. Now that would be like a little, the little piggy went to market nursery rhyme thing. I could draw a little piggy face on each toe. That is an elite benefit. I'm not gonna lie. That is truly something special. But moving on from my pinkies, let me know what you think. Came here for the code. Yeah, sorry. We're moving on. We're moving on from toes. Toes are done. We're going back to the code. And how you going, Nick? Good to see you. Sorry that you came in at such a weird point. Actually, a question for you, because you won't have seen what's going on. Basically, there's interference going on, which stops your drill from running at full power. And at the moment, the amount that it gets nerfed by is fluctuating. So up here, you can see these values are changing because they should be up near 2%, near 2 times, but the interference is making it less. The question is, should it fluctuate or should it just be a static nerf? And I'm leaning towards a static nerf because I don't know what it adds that things are moving, like that the numbers changing to the actual gameplay, other than, I mean, seeing the bars move is always nice, but it's like also kind of distracting. So I don't know if it should be static or it should be fluctuating. But that's something that if you just let me know in the comments or whatever, I can easily change that in the future. Static nerf makes it a bit easier to think about. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. I'm leaning that way as well. I'll see if anyone else says anything, but for the moment, I will leave it and we can move on. So, electromagnetic interference is completed. So now we've got thin atmosphere. Now, I didn't know what to... This one, I think I actually ended up calling it something else because I looked it up and asteroids, I think by definition, do not have an atmosphere. So, I don't know. It's a bit dicey. What did I actually call it in the end? I think I called it low pressure. I think that's what I called it. This asteroid has moved into a low pressure zone. Your air consumption will be higher. Yeah, so what I'm thinking with this one is very similar to the interference one, where it will basically be it'll increase your air consumption rate by some, probably in this case, fixed amount. Thin atmosphere could be a bonus. Could it? What? I don't know what would the bonus be? Like what thematically would the bonus be? I don't know. Anyway, low pressure. Oh, reduced air consumption. Well, my thinking, yeah, well, true. I don't know what to call this one. If you guys have a good name for it, let me know. But basically, the idea is that it'll increase your air consumption. Because my thinking is like the drill has like a shitty little compressor on it or something. I don't really know. I haven't thought through the actual in-world consequences of all these things very deeply. I'll be real with you. The lore doesn't go very deep for this game. But well, at least not yet. Maybe I'll come up with a whole tome of lore at some point. And it'll rival Tolkien and the Silmarillion. It'll be like the most in-depth world. But at the moment, it's not. So my thinking is, I don't know what to call it. If you come up with a better name, please let me know. But the idea is that it will increase your air consumption. If you want increased air consumption, make the asteroids hot. Well, so is that for like the person in the astronaut's air consumption? Because maybe, I guess, a hot drill would also consume more air, a pneumatic drill. I don't know. Because what I'm thinking is if it's low... Oh, no, yeah, it should be high pressure, shouldn't it? So that the relative pressure of the air in your tank is less than the outside, so it's got less pushing power. So maybe it should be a high pressure zone. I don't know. I feel like this is something I can change very easily in the future. For the moment, let's get the actual event happening. So, I think I have a oxygen something. Use oxygen. So I guess here, if we're in a low pressure zone, it just uses more oxygen. So I think very similar thing to what we were doing down here with the Molt mod could be that your oxygen passively lowers on hot planets. So your oxygen does just tick down very slowly, and you can reduce how quickly it ticks down. I was just going to do like a blanket... Oh, here we go. I've even got an oxygen effect. I won't use that because that will change things. Rightio. So if we go here, it does slowly. I think the base rate is like 1 per second. It'll tick down just slowly without me doing anything. Hands off. Hands off, and it's still slowly ticking down. But when you use your drill, obviously it uses a lot more. Or your jetpack also uses more as well. And they're all things that you can upgrade so that it reduces it. But yeah, there is a base rate that it just ticks down. And so then what I'm thinking is basically it'll just like double your air consumption if you're in a low pressure zone or high pressure. I don't know. We'll come up with a name later. But while this event is active, I think it'll just double your oxygen usage. Or like 1.5 it or something. All right, while I'm here, I'm going to get rid of the the moving, what do we call it? Whatsy McCall it, the moving buff on the malt. It's too distracting. And I think I can even just do this as a, don't need to overcomplicate it. So if we're in that event, then we want it to be 0.75, I think. And then otherwise 1. And that needs to be F. All right. And that's that. So then it's going to be a very similar sort of thing when we are using use oxygen. So I think all I really need to do is this and change that to low pressure, and instead of 0.75, I'll make it 1.5. Could it be that we're already done another event? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the idea behind these is it just sort of makes you have to think in different ways. Like, you got to tailor it towards the asteroid a bit more with the chance that one of these events will happen. So all of these have a chance of low pressure. Maybe a very cold planet, then more oxygen needs to be used to keep you warm and the drill jetpack from not freezing up. Where is the other component oxygen multiplier code? Well, okay, so here's the thing, right? Is we go to multiplier component, and there will be, oh, sorry, not a multiplier, it's an effect, I think. An effect for the oxygen. And it applies, you should keep all the multipliers in one place. So what happens is when your circuit gets run, it will, at the end, produce some drill buffs, which has the oxygen per second. So yeah, maybe it should be in here. But I will need to make sure that it... Where does this get used? Don't ask why there's drill stats and drill buffs. Next question. Next question. They're very, very similar classes. I think this is a relic from the days when this was a card game. Get drill stats. And this return. And so we're getting this one, and then this. Sorry, this is a bit of a. This is what you're all here for, is the spaghetti. All right, use drill. That's what we want. Stats, drill on. We get the stats, and then... So yeah, it should probably be here. This used to be a card game? Yes, it did. Yeah, I think I've probably got some footage of it somewhere. Let me try and find it. Way, way, way back in the day. Let me see. Where is it? I will have some. Let's see, what's this? Ah, there we go. There we go. Some cards. And so each, there were different types of explosion that you could use. It's going to be like a deck building game. There we go. Pretty exciting. I think it... Yeah, it's kind of... This is actually crazy to look back on. It's so, like, bland. It's kind of, I don't mind the minimalist vibe. It's kind of clean. But yeah, so it used to be a card game way back in the day, and so I think the stats and stuff were a relic of that. Oh dear. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, should I keep all the multipliers in the same place? Probably. Yeah, I probably should. Oxygen gained mod. So I guess the thing is the things that I'm working on now, the events are like a world level. No, but you're probably right. They probably should be. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Nick. I just got to think about it a little bit more because so there's a few places where it actually gets used, I think. So when we're I am a fan of hammering out the features as quickly as possible and then dealing with the spaghetti later. And by then, by that I mean I never come back to it. But no, I do think you're right that there is a better place for this. I just don't know exactly where it would be. Get drill stats. I think actually in the drill stats, so this is like a top level thing that gets run and then it runs the circuit, I think. No, it doesn't. Circuit.get air cost. Bit. So yeah, the oxygen. Yeah, so it should be here. It should be here. Yeah, this is. So basically, it adds up all the different air costs and then multiplies it by the buffs, and then here we can just multiply it by this thing. And then, hey presto. And then I think it should show up as if I've programmed things correctly, this should now automatically show up in the UI. I think. We'll find out. All right. So are we? Yes, we're in a low pressure zone, and I don't need anything in my drill to test this one. We just rock up, see what happens. Boom, 100% chance. Drop. It's very hard to say. I would have thought it would show up here. See, this is what I was trying to think is where it needs to be to show up as a. Let me just see if this is even true. True. So what is my oxygen per second? 40. Oh, that's while my... Oh, see, now this is the thing, is that this is only happening while the drill is in use. And that's not what I want. No, that is not what I want. Okay. That's okay. It's somewhere similar. It should be somewhere similar to this. Base oxygen. All right. So what's the... But that's all... See, yeah, that's all for the drill itself. This is all just like the drill. So there will be somewhere where the oxygen per second is used. So that's here, and so then the drill stats. Oh, so it just gets used direct. See, this is. I think I just want to put it in the use oxygen because this is where the. Because the two different places just use it. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to whack it where it was, and then we can think about it later. I think you're right, Nick, that it should be it should be better than this, but it's not. So I'm just going to whack it here for the moment, and we'll move on, I think. But I'm just going to check that it works first. I think probably what I need to do is for each of these events have a little display that's showing what's going on. Because at the moment, here, I'll show you. At the moment, I've just got, basically I think what I need to do is update the tooltip for the event. So when an event is happening, there's this thing down here with the tooltip. So I should probably just put in the specifics in here, being like, your oxygen usage is 1.5 times higher. Because yeah, that's ticking down definitely faster than once a second, I think. Yeah, let me just put it as something absurd, and we can just double check. Double check that it's working, and then we can move on. Alright. Alrighty tighty. Let's try this out. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter which one I go to. The test. So yeah, that's definitely going at like 5 a second. Whoa! Oh my god. Can I do it? That's the question. Oh, so close. So close. If I hadn't hesitated, I would have got there. Alright, so that's definitely working. Cool. Alright, well, let us move this over here and we move on to the next one. This is going to be a very similar theme. So basically, I'm thinking high gravity. High gravity, so we have movement speed affected. Except for when we're falling, obviously. So the terminal velocity will go up, I guess. But the movement speed will be affected. So let us go to the player where this stuff is happening. So I think I have... yeah, so I've got this movement speed buff, which is... because there is a component that can increase your speed, which is why I think this is a fine thing to have as a nerf, because there's a way to counteract it. All of the events, there is a way to make it into a positive, I think. Or at least, like, reduce the impact of it. Because I don't want to do anything that just, like, screws the player over. Like, all of these should be something that you, if you've got the right equipment, you can deal with just fine. But if you don't, then you're going to get screwed over. Right, so I think wherever we use this movement speed buff is where we should be doing it. Although I might, because, so the falling speed should go up when the falling speed should go up and the ascending speed of your jetpack should go down if it's high gravity. So I'm going to just get... ignore all this mess here. That's for... just ignore that. Don't worry about that. Nick, close your eyes. So Boolean... I'll call this... I guess I'll just call it high gravity. Equals... is event occurring high gravity. And so if we... so if up is pressed, we want to nerf that. Oh, I guess I can just have a... yeah, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go float... float gravity speed buff. It's not a buff though. Speed mod equals 0.5. I don't know if that might be too harsh, but we'll see. So when we're pressing up, we just want to multiply this by the gravity speed mod. Otherwise though, wait, no. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, so here we want to multiply it by the gravity speed mod. But then when we're just falling here, no, that's if we're inside the drop zone. So our velocity on the radius, where's that? Where was that? Here. So here we want to invert it. So we want to say times 1 divided by the gravity speed mod. And I guess we need to update the terminal velocity as well. I don't know why. I think these are probably always the same, are they? Yeah, these are constant. And in fact, maybe these should be... No, don't worry about that. I'm just going to I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to ignore it. Okay, so the terminal velocity... Yeah, we'll go float gravity equals world.grav times 1 on gravity speed mod, and we'll say float terminal equals world.terminal times 1 on gravity speed mod. So then we remove gravity, and then if it's going faster than terminal velocity, negative terminal, then we set it to negative terminal. Okay, so we should have higher gravity and slower movement speed. I think. We'll see. We shall see. All right, let us go to the planet. Oh, we're still on low pressure. I need to change that to a guaranteed high gravity. And we'll check. We'll check how we're going. And then I think... How many more of these have we got? Geothermals is actually a slightly different one. I've already kind of got them in, but they're not hooked into this event system. So that will be interesting. We'll see how we go. Let's go to the asteroid and find out if what we've done works. I'll see if I can... Oh, so this thing here, I'll go here near here because this is a geothermal thing. I need to change how this works, obviously. Oh, yes. It's really slow. Oh, and now... Okay, so nerfing our jetpack has made it so I literally can't take off. But we plummet down. I literally cannot... I can't go back up. So definitely need to do something about that. But yeah, so see that geothermal thing just exploded into slag, which is a negative... a negative thing. And then it can also bring up good things as well, though. And there are components that do stuff with the slag. So there's ways of getting around it. But yeah, so I need to do something about not being able to fly up, because that is problematic, to say the least. Why is that? So maybe 0.5 is too... Oh, because it probably can't overcome gravity. What is... Oh, because gravity's been buffed as well as the jetpack being nerfed. So maybe I don't need to do both. Maybe I only increase gravity, which will, by default, nerf the jetpack. Let's try that. Let's see. Let's run with that theory. And what is gravity by default? Gravity is 0.05. So when it gets doubled, it's exactly what the jetpack is, I think. Yeah. So maybe I need to make the jetpack slightly stronger so that it can overcome the harder gravity, but only just. Because I think right now we will probably also not be able to move. I think we'll be able to hover. Yeah, we can hover, but we can't go up because we are unable to overcome the stronger gravity. So maybe, I guess the alternative to fiddling with that would be to change how much the high gravity changes it. So maybe if I make it 0.75, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I don't know why I keep looking at these as if I'm actually going to play, but it literally doesn't matter which one I choose. So, high gravity guaranteed, and we go down. So now, oh, crash. What is that? Oh, that doesn't seem very good. Never seen this before. I must have done something very bizarre. The boost grid was null. Where's that getting set? It's only there. Weird. I think I'll have to investigate that. I'll just write that down. Sorry, that debugging on stream is probably not the most entertaining thing to do. But, well, at least not something like that. Let us see how we go with the higher gravity. And hopefully we can actually get onto the asteroid this time. Yes, okay. So we can go up. I don't know how noticeable it is. It's kind of noticeable. But I think it would be better if it was stronger. So I am going to put it back to 0.5. And I will just tweak this to be like 0.12. Just pulling that number completely out of thin air. But we'll see how we go. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's choose whichever one. Actually, I will go though to a powder. Just to make it easier to drill. Alright. So yeah, gravity is way stronger here. It's hard to like... You can really feel it. That's fun. But yeah, it makes it... It's kind of interesting. I think the main thing it'll affect is getting back to the surface once you're deep down in the mines, because you'll be used to like flying kind of fast up to the surface. But this is like so hard to do. Oh my god, and you really just plummet as soon as you let go of the jetpack. That's fun. But just having said what I said, it doesn't the biggest issue, like the biggest challenge that the player will face on that event is getting back to the surface, and they can't actually do anything about that because your jetpack speed isn't affected by the movement speed buff. So I'm going to add that in as well, because that will allow you to overcome the high gravity. Okay, cool. So I think that leaves us with gravity field can go into the completed bin, and this just needs the geothermals. And so I think with this one, I've got a geothermal active. It's already like hooked in so that this only happens if this is on. So I can just, instead of returning this, I can return what did I call it? Is event occurring? Where is it? Where is it? Did I go past it? No. World event. I called it tectonic plates for some reason. So I can just do that, and I think we're done. Let's go. So good. Right. So let me see where here we can make this be tectonic plates. I think I called it tectonic plates because geothermal activity is a very long name and it didn't fit in too well. All right. So let's see how we're going. I mean, I kind of already know that these work, so it'll just be whether they get triggered or not. So actually, I guess the more important test is that they don't show up when I don't want them to, because I can see one down there. Oh, and there's one there. Yeah, I can show you more clearly what happens. Oh. So this one, that was a bad one to get because it just has rock in the middle, which is boring. But you can get ones with, you know, precious materials in them. I'll see if I can get to the other one. Where was it? Don't know where it was. I think there are 3 of them per asteroid. But yeah, so the more important check will be that they don't show up when it's not a geothermal asteroid. Or tectonic plates, I should say. I feel like asteroids probably don't have tectonic plates. I need to probably come up with a different name as well. I think geothermal activity made sense, kind of. Now, where was this thing? I think I went too far to the left. Maybe. Oh, there it is. I did. I had it bang on. So the idea here, let's see how close I can get, is it doesn't get triggered unless you're drilling near it. So I just triggered it then. So you can mitigate it by just not drilling near it. And you just go around it and avoid it. But that kind of relies on you being able to see it. So again, your fog distance is kind of important for that. Can I get back to the ship? Yeah. Easy. Cool. Still got wrecked. But yeah, so that's kind of done. I just need to make sure that if we put this back on, just check that it doesn't actually show up when it's not meant to. That's what I need to check. So let us see. So yeah, this is like a more normal distribution. There should be a bonus for returning with some oxygen left. That's a good idea. Maybe your amount of oxygen just gets directly converted into money, because I think the default starting tank size is 1,000. So I think, or maybe like, yeah, I don't know. That's a good idea. I do like that. That we can add that in. Okay, so let's see. Oh, none of these have an event on them, so it doesn't matter. We can go to any one of them, and we should see that there's no geothermal activity anywhere, which looks like is the case. Cool. Good. I think we're good. But yeah, so this is the more reasonable distribution of events. So it's not actually going to be that likely, especially at the start. It gets more likely the further in you get. And actually, I should put the rates back to normal, and also put these back to normal. So this is more like how it will actually be. Oh, we only got one event in this whole thing. So yeah, it's not guaranteed, but you do get a little bonus for it. I'm going to tweak how frequent they are. But you know what? Let's change these, because what I was saying before is that it's not very obvious that you're getting a pay bump because of the risk of the event that you could be encountering. So maybe we should work right now on these tooltips, so it shows you that you're getting a bonus. Although, I'm trying to think what the best way of doing that would be. I'm thinking maybe just up near where it says asteroid. Or maybe I can just make the text bigger of the prices that are increased. Yeah, let me try and get one with more events. Only 2. I'm really bad at UI stuff, so if anyone has any ideas, let me know. But I think there needs to be some way of making it apparent that you're getting more money than you otherwise would. Yeah. In the meantime, let's do what you were suggesting, Nick, and make it so that you get money for leftover oxygen, because I really like that. Where are we going to do that? I think in the game manager, when we leave asteroid, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? We want to... Well, so where do we... I think in the inventory is where we keep all your resources. Yes. And so then once you... Can afford... Get prices. I think this is... Where's like the total? I will have... Yeah, material price. So I kind of want to just add in a new resource for oxygen, and then when you finish the asteroid, just add in the oxygen you have left. But then I need a new resource type. So I don't know about that, but I think that would be the cleanest way to do it. But I don't know if I want to put oxygen in there, because it's not really a resource in the traditional sense. Ooh, tricky. Although I can just probably... Where in the overview screen, this is where it displays all the information. So right here, maybe I can get like the leftover air. Where does it actually... Where does it actually add in all of the... This is the thing, I really don't know my own code base very well. It's been so long and so big that I lose track of things. So pay corporate costs. Money from asteroid. Here. Okay, so maybe we do have it in the inventory just as a separate line item. So there's like the resources, but then there's also the oxygen left over. Although I probably don't need to do it from the inventory. Here, let me do float left over oxygen. Where is that? Oh, it's right where we are. Good. Equals tank amount. Oh, so I don't really need to do this. I can just do money from asteroid plus equals the tank amount. And then when we're on the overview screen, where's the error? Here. I can get that plus game manager dot get tank amount. And I think it's that easy. So there we go. Hopefully. I wonder though if you can game this a little bit. I might have to make it not a direct one-for-one thing because the corporate cut in the first asteroid is $1,000. Is it? I think it's 2,000. I think that might be displaying the wrong number because otherwise I can just go to the asteroid and then immediately dip. So where is tank capacity getting, or is it getting reset? Yeah. It's reset. And then where else is it getting set? Is it getting set anywhere else? Getting added to and subtracted from. That should have... Oh, no, that's just the profit thing. But yeah, so the corporate cut thing is definitely showing the wrong value in the asteroid screen. So I'm going to have to fix that up as well. But this material price... Oh, no, that's the total money. Oh, I'm a silly goose. So that should be there. Material price. Because the oxygen is part of the things that we got from that asteroid. So yeah, we can't game it because the actual corporate cut is 2,000. But if I immediately leave, then I get 1,000 buckies. Cool. All right. Spent 1,000. That seems wrong as well. Anyway, a lot of bugs to iron out. I'm going to, though, just quickly fix up in the asteroid belt. Fix up the displaying of the corporate cut amount because that is wrong. Where is... This is wrong. It's like how in Kerbal Space Program you can mine and generate fuel on the launch pad and then make money from fuel you mined and generated. I've never actually played Kerbal Space Program. I should probably play it because it does look like fun from what I've seen. But that's interesting. So you can make money from the fuel you mined. So any like leftover fuel. Yeah, I do. I really like the idea. It's a good one. I just don't know why. I don't know why it's displaying the wrong corporate cut. Or actually, it seems like it's displaying the right one, but then when I go to the asteroid, it gets the wrong one. On the overview screen. Oh. So the current layer probably gets incremented Yeah, okay. No? Hang on. Getting confused. I feel like there's just an off by one error, and I don't know where it's happening. Currently a plus plus. Yeah, I think it is off by one. So I think it's not the index, but the number. So what I need to do is all I need to do is add one here. So it's a nice and easy fix, but just trying to figure out why that was the case. But it's because the current layer starts at 1, not 0. Like a MATLAB programmer. Silly. All right, so that should be fixed. 2, yeah, okay, cool. Cool. So yeah, there's still some things to do with the event system. So like I was saying, I need to make it more obvious that the money that you're getting from the asteroid goes up because of the risk associated with it. And like you can figure that out just by looking at the prices and being like, oh, this one's got higher prices, but no one's going to do that. So I need to make it more obvious that that is what is happening. And then I also, like I was saying, need to really fix up that opening sequence, this thing, because it doesn't look too good. All these things, but I don't think these are things that you'll want to watch me do because that will be very boring for you. But yeah, so I think we kind of did all of the events. All of the events are done. Where are they? They're all down here. Where are they? There. So yeah, I think we've done all the events. There's just a few things, like I was saying, I need to do a tutorial and stuff for how the events work as well, because at the moment, if you put the tutorial on, I don't think if you go in here, it doesn't tell you anything about these. And I guess it shouldn't until you actually get to the layer with one of them on them. But yeah, I haven't got around to that. So there's a few little things, minor things to fix up and tooltips to tweak and such. But I think the actual basics of how the events work is done. So that's good. And I think I might call it there for the stream, because I think that was a pretty bloody successful session. I'm not going to lie. I think a lot of those events, most of the work had already been done. It was just like, well, I think I chose events that used systems that were kind of already in place. So it wasn't ever going to be too crazy. But yeah, we smashed through them. I honestly think the Dust Storm one, which is where we started, was probably the hardest one. And that was over in like 5 minutes. But yeah, so I think, thank you everyone for joining me, because I think we're done. I think we did it. We got events in. Like I'm saying, bit of tweaking to do and tidying up, but yeah, we kind of got there. Huge shout out again to all the members. Tom Kirby Green is a legend member, so good on you, mate. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the members, and thank you to everyone that just watches, because that is also so helpful. And yeah, if you want to hang out or anything in between streams, then join the Discord, I guess, because there should be a link in the description. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you. I intend to be streaming again every week. There's just been a bit of craziness going on in my life the last few weeks. Sisters getting married, friends coming over from the UK and such. So it's just been not enough time for everything that I want to do. But I think we're back on track for some more streams again soon. So tune in next week for the next one, and I'll see you later. And now I got to remember how to turn this thing off. Alrighty. Catch you later. Bye.